Greetings, friends of Essential Aromatica. On the cusp of a winter's new moon, we're going into the evening here, and as I'm looking out of my window out here on Long Island, I see 3 deer having their dinner, nibbling away on this the cusp of a new moon winter's night. So on that note, I want to welcome you to Luna Aroma, a monthly series offered near each new moon, centered around seasonal themes that inspire a guided experience with an essential oil and its aromatic plant that I feel embodies each seasonal moontime and the themes of the moontime. Before delving into the current moontime, I do want to share something with you that I've been chewing on for a few years now about time and living in moontime, but time. Before the literal clock came into our lives, which is really not that far back, really entered our culture with the advent of the train, the locomotive and train schedules, and the wristwatch, the pocket watch was really perfected. It's 200 years ago now. We could fact check that, But before the literal clock, the stopwatch, came into our lives, us crazy humans kept time by noticing celestial bodies and their movements above us, the behavior of earthbound beings around us, insects, think of the deer I'm looking at, noticing the moon phases, temperature changes, and the ways of water, and so much more. The sun, moon, stars, planets, plants, the animals, the insects. We observed that. Let's call this moontime. Moontime isn't as rigid as clock time. It, of course, as the waters of the earth and in our bodies are influenced by the moon, our great satellite, it ebbs and flows as lunar references go, moontime. But moontime, by noting the moon phases, can also be, I'm pausing because marked, but kind of noticed by the height of a period, kind of like that would be the full moon, and the fluid transition to another phase. And it's all an ebb and flow, but there's when you look at nature around you and notice how things are at the start of a new moon, and then what it's like at the full moon, and then the full moon to the new moon, there's this rhythm that is a seasonal rhythm. And, it's all fluid. Just like we used to tell time, these observations are daily and bleed and flow into each other. And you just notice patterns. So to talk about fluidity and being flexible, whether you are with me, listening to this with me on the mark of the new moon or 3 days later, it doesn't matter. What matters is your experience around observational time rather than clock time. And notice what is happening around you. And let us begin Luna Aroma. Here we are in January, wolf moon time, a time to honor the earth, her minerals and bones, the outlines and the silhouettes, the rocks, the foundations of things. Balsam fir is the essential oil I have with me for this sensorial experience that I'm sharing with you. I'm smelling it on a scent strip right now. This balsam fir, or all the other conifers like Scots Pine or hemlock spruce, you can go to the cypress tree, red eastern cedar that I just saw some in my hike before. Balsam fir and all the other evergreens who shine, all these evergreen plants shine in colder and seemingly barren months. These are the beings that get to keep their leaves while everyone else had to drop theirs. Right? And the gymnosperms, the conifers, these are the first to be here. They were here before the flowering plants. They hold a lot of wisdom. So choose one of your favorite conifer needle oils as you prepare for my guided meditation, my guided experience. Or go outside and gently take a few needles from a conifer tree to celebrate this time with me. And seriously, go ahead and pause this and come back. You know where to find me. Just hit play again and get ready. Get your stuff ready to sit and spend time with me. Now let me take you on a journey. Let your mind flow with the words I am about to share, and have your essential oil and or the plant material with you. January moontime is often called wolf moon, stormy moon, and it goes by many names depending on where you live, of course. Moontime is relational. The time is for huddling with your pack and tending to yourself, the wolf moon. We can relate to the wolf during this time as many of us in the colder northern hemisphere stay indoors and seek warmth and light. We can take this time to define territory, locate pack members, reinforce social bonds, and gather for hunting. In more human terms and less wolf-like hunting terms, let's take time to tend and befriend, to gather around the fire or the dinner table, the lunch table, around a cup of hot chocolate to reinforce social bonds. Who do you want to spend time with? Define territory in a figurative way. Center your thoughts. Clarify your beliefs. Think of what serves you and the world best. This takes time alone, away from the pack, to have these thoughts. How do you balance time for yourself and time with others? Gather for hunting, another wolf theme. This could be interpreted as planning and strategizing. This is indeed the time to plan your literal and figurative gardens. It is much easier to plan during this moon time when days are colder and shorter. Overall, these suggestions sound like setting a New Year's resolution, and that's a few weeks ago. But within moontime, they are far more impactful in their broader strokes than making a decision to, let's say, start doing X and stop doing Y. Moontime is thoughtful time. In many parts of the world, the earth is barren and looks a little bit more exposed as the deciduous trees and shrubs have lost their leaves. Not those evergreens, though. The perennial plants have died back, and the annual plants set their seeds. This exposure shows the bones of things we otherwise may not notice: the trunk of a tree, the color of the ground, stones, rocks, minerals. Evergreens shine, reassuring us that life is still pulsing. The occasional sighting of a fox or wolf or coyote or of the deer lets us know others are still out there. There is still life, but it has slowed down. When the moon is young, and out here I often hear owls sing through the often cold and silent nights, calling out the vastness of the air, often so still you can hear the movement of life around you. January is a time for earth, minerals, rocks, a time for bones, for tending to foundations and structure, fortifying the bones, the architecture. If the proper architecture, like your vitamins and minerals and nourishment, isn't there in our bodies, in the earth's soil, in the seeds of ideas and beginnings, we are on incredibly shaky ground. And this is a time of nourishing the kidneys, the bloodline, yourself, staying warm and eating nourishing, good, warming foods. It's okay to stay inside and cozy up with a hot chocolate, to tend and befriend. So let's call upon the wolf mind and reinforce your foundation, your architecture, to tend and befriend, define your mental and emotional territory, plan and strategize how you will plant this year's, your literal and figurative gardens. Now, let me take you through a guided aromatic encounter, which includes a poem at the very end based on wolf moontime themes. Now for this, take out your bottle of essential oil. Maybe it's the balsam fir or something else. Or maybe you have a few twigs and needles from a conifer tree. Now you'll want to crush those and smell your fingers and have the plant material by you. If you have your bottle of oil, open it, put it near your nose, or take a drop of the essential oil and put it on a cotton pad or a tissue. I'm using a perfumer scent strip. And after you do that, just start normally breathing in the aromas. Close your eyes and settle into my words as you gently acknowledge the architecture of your body. How do you nourish it? How may you be of service? Gently acknowledge the architecture of your soul, the deep seat of you, the life force. How do you tend to your inner fire? How may you be of service? Gently acknowledge your social foundation, who you surround yourself with, who you are surrounded by, who do you tend to and befriend. How may you be of service to those relationships? Gently acknowledge your neighborhood, your society, your culture, the ideas cultivated in your garden, in your family's garden, your neighbor's garden. How may you be of service? Gently acknowledge the earth, her minerals, her bones, life force that fosters insects, birds, animals. How may you be of service? Continue breathing normal breaths with the oil. A poem untitled. Resurrect. There were bones in the compost, found buried among years of tired ideas and concepts. Await. Cleaned of dirt and bugs and placed up on a shelf, they waited patiently for years. Declare. The sun slowly bore a gap in the curtain, a spark. They finally howled their own song. Nuscite ipsum. Know yourself. Potential is always there to cultivate your garden. Continuing to breathe in the aromas. Thank yourself for giving yourself the gift of time with the essential oil. For any thoughts or sensations that arose during this time, please write them down. Let us thank the plants that gave us this beautiful oil, this beautiful experience. And I thank you for spending time with me. And this Luna Aroma, wishing you a wonderful January's end and enjoying this Moontime, and look forward to the next Luna Aroma in February. Ciao for now.